Today's recipe is for another bread mix. This one is for English muffin bread, and if you like English muffins, you'll like this loaf. It's got a cornmeal coating on the outside crust, and the middle is full of nooks and crannies for your butter and jam to settle in. It's a batter bread, so there's no kneading, and it's ready in about an hour. My family loves this bread. Well, hi there, everyone. My name is Kareth. I'm a wife, a mom, an author, and a cook. On this channel, I like to create recipes using freeze-dried food. Sometimes it's completely shelf-stable, like a meal or a mix in a jar. Other times, I combine freeze-dried with fresh, but all the time, it's delicious. I'm here to help people who have freeze-dried food on their shelves to know how to cook with it. I test out recipes so you don't have to. Welcome to the Freeze-Dried Foodie. This bread is one of those really quick breads. It's actually ready in less than an hour, but I do like to let it cool completely before I slice it. It's so tasty, it's so easy, it's great to have on hand, and you can make this as a mix in a jar and keep it on your pantry shelf. I'll put a list of the ingredients up on the screen that you'll need to make the bread, and then I'll write the full recipe with the exact measurements and all that in the description box below the video. I always do that for my recipes. All right, so you'll start with your bread pan. I love that cast iron bread pan that I got on Amazon. I think it's an 8.5 by 4.5, but it bakes really evenly. I like the crust that it gives the bread. But anyway, so I put some oil down in the bottom and brush the sides, the corners especially, and even the little edges, the rim around the edge. And then it's ready for the cornmeal. So just give it a good dusting of cornmeal. I think that, that texture and that flavor is kind of a signature English muffin type of flavor and texture. So go ahead and dust it with cornmeal, and the oil will help the cornmeal to stick and help the bread not to stick. So it's awesome. And then I fluff up my flour, and it's just a couple cups of flour for this one loaf. Now, if you were going to make this as a mix in a jar, you could put all of these ingredients, layer them into a quart-sized jar, or like I have 3-cup jars, but not everybody has those, but you could just put this in a quart-sized jar. But since I'm going to go ahead and bake it, I'm just going to put it straight into my bowl. Now, I included some butter powder in this, but don't feel like you have to. If you don't have butter powder, you can leave it out. I like it because I like the flavor that it brings. It's this nice, light butter flavor, but it's definitely not one of those ingredients that you have to have. It doesn't matter what order you put it in if you're gonna bake it directly, but if you're gonna make this as a mix in a jar, it kind of does matter because you wanna separate your yeast from your honey or your sugar, whichever one you're using, and from your soda, because you don't want it to get activated, all right? So if you're gonna make this as a mix in a jar, then go ahead and put the yeast at the bottom of your jar, or maybe in between your cups of flour or something like that, and put some sort of a barrier in between the yeast and either the honey or the sugar, whichever one you wanna use. I'm using honey here, but you can also use sugar. All right, so here's a picture of that mix in a jar that I was talking about, and see how I separated the yeast at the bottom from the honey. I layered it because I thought it looked pretty, but just so you separate them somehow, it should be fine, and it should be good for as long as your yeast is good. All right, so when you're ready to bake this, you'll just put your mix into a bowl and add some warm water. And you want it to be at about 110 degrees. So for me, that's just the hot water that comes out of my faucet. And then you can give that a good stir. And it really is the consistency of batter. See how moist that is? That's exactly what you want. You might be tempted to put more flour in it, but don't. You want this bread like a really high hydration bread. You want it more like a batter. Smooth it out, and then you need to let it rest. And I put mine in my oven with just the light on. The heat wasn't on, just the light was on, and I let it sit there for 20 minutes. And see how much it has already risen? It rises beautifully. So I took it out of the oven. I'm going to sprinkle the top with cornmeal now. And then I turned on my oven to preheat it to 375. You can just let this sit on your counter for another few minutes, and then you can bake it. If you enjoy cooking with freeze-dried foods, please consider owning my cookbooks. They're both available on Amazon in paperback and as a digital download on my website, thefreezedriedfoodie.com. I'll link to both below. If you own freeze-dried food and want to be able to cook delicious meals with it, then you'll love having my cookbooks. They're loaded with completely shelf-stable meals and mixes. And although I wrote the recipes with Thrive Life ingredients in mind, you can use any brand, including home freeze-dried foods. All right, back to the recipe. So this is what it looks like after about half an hour in the oven. So I baked mine for 20 minutes uncovered, and then I covered it with some foil and baked it another 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. I do suggest you take it out of the pan and let it completely cool on a wire rack, and then you can slice it up. Isn't it lovely? I love the cornmeal on the outside. I just think it's really a pretty loaf. I think bread's pretty. Maybe because I like to eat it so much, I think it's beautiful. I love the way this smells. I'm gonna slice it up here and let you see the interior of this bread. I think it's so gorgeous. Just look at all those nooks and crannies. Isn't that beautiful? I lost my lighting here. I'm sorry the lighting's not good, but it was all cloudy outside when I was trying to film this part. But anyway, there's our English muffin loaf, and I just think it is a fantastic loaf. It tastes great, okay? And definitely you could just, butter some and eat it or whatever. But I think the best way to enjoy this bread is toasted. That's the idea here. Let this cool completely and then slice it and toast it. I love the crunchy kind of crust exterior. You can put butter on it or jam or whatever. I really like it with jam, but we've done other things with it as well. For instance, we've had it with bacon and scrambled eggs and cheese like a sandwich, and oh, it's so good. But definitely toast it. It's best toasted, and just that amazing exterior, that cornmeal crust. It's just so reminiscent of an actual English muffin, but without all of the fuss. When you cook English muffins, you have to grill them, but also steam them. And it's just too much for me. Anyway, this is a great alternative, and it tastes just like an English muffin. All right, guys, don't forget about my cookbooks. I will link those below so you can purchase those. Oh yeah, I wanted to share a verse with you today that I read this week and I was encouraged by. It's Nahum 1 verse 7, and it says, "The Lord is good, a strong defense in the day of distress, and he knows those who take refuge in him." So I hope that encourages your heart today. Y'all, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate you. Please be a friend and put a smiley face or a heart down in the comments, and be sure to like this video. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. God bless you. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.